Hello everybody and welcome to Drawing with Waffles. Today we are going to be drawing a chibi, I don't know how you pronounce it, version of Maple. Yeah, I really don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm pretty sure no matter how I do end up pronouncing it, someone's going to be like, that's not the way it's pronounced. But yeah, I'll just say Chibi. I think that's right. So this is Chibi Maple. When I was younger, I used to draw a lot more chibis. I don't know, just as I grew up, I lost the skill somehow. It just sort of disappeared. And I think it has something to do with, when I was in artist block, I'd always try chibis because I'm like, oh, chibis are smaller, there's less to them, they'll be way easier to draw. And that always got me every time because just because they're smaller doesn't mean they should be less detailed. I mean, they're deformed. You can cut out certain elements and details of the illustration, but you can't just throw it up there. You still have to put some dedication into it, and you have to be willing to put the time into it to make it look good, or you can't expect it to look amazing. And that's always been my problem. I was like, oh, I'll just draw a chibi. I only have 10 minutes. I'll draw a chibi. And before I knew it, I was just super frustrated, and I'd delete the picture and restart. And you end up with a bunch of these failures in your mind, and then you just need a break and you can't take it anymore, so you just leave, and then you don't draw for 2 months, and you're like, oh, well, it's over now. So since then, I've kind of decided to teach myself, okay, you're just sketching. You don't have to expect it to look perfect. You're sketching it out. You're just designing the layout of a person, and you need to figure out how it's standing there and the posture and everything. You don't have to worry about it looking perfect. And I've always had that problem, but since I've been thinking about it and realizing that that is my problem, I've been able to slightly overcome it. Sometimes I still have the problem and I restart a picture, but when I do restart a picture, I'm like, okay, I'm only gonna restart this once. I only get one more chance. And then I have to stick that through all the way through inking and coloring, and I have to finish that illustration. Because when I don't finish that illustration, I feel like I just wasted my time, and I feel very, very depressed about the whole art thing, and it's just, yeah, it's important for me to persevere and at least finish that illustration, no matter how bad it looks when I'm done. But it doesn't usually look too bad when I'm done because I'm putting the time into it, and I'm specifically trying to finish this and making it better with every couple little details that I add. And if you put the time into anything, I think it can look good, so it's not that big of a deal. And the fact about quitting early is a lot more depressing, and if you just actually go through and finish it, it doesn't look as bad as you thought it was going to from the beginning, so you feel a whole lot better about yourself and your artistic abilities. You can probably try that out, if you you realize that you've just deleted 4 different versions of the picture you're trying to draw. Try and just stick it through. Don't be ashamed of the way it looks at the beginning. You just have to keep going. Keep on keeping on. I think I should probably mention that there are tons of different types of chibis. You could do anything and call it a chibi as long as it is deformed in some way and isn't perfectly realistic. I'm not sure what the definition of chibi is, but I've seen ones with noses, I've seen ones without noses, I've seen some with 5 fingers, I've seen some with 3 fingers. I've seen ones that their bodies are basically just little marshmallows, and they don't even have arms. And they're still technically chibis, I think. So my chibis are basically just a really big head. I think that's all I changed. So it's super deformed, and the head is massive. I gave her pretty big eyes. I don't think I usually draw eyes as big as that, even in comparison to her head. I still keep the bottom proportions pretty similar to when I usually just draw regularly, but I did shorten the limbs a little bit and made them skinnier in comparison to the width of her torso. Just these small little things. I mean, it's not too drastic for the body. The only thing that's really drastic is the head is massive. It's just I don't know how you fit through doors, but yeah. And holy cow, I'm almost done already. I'm just adding some little details and highlights to her eyeballs. Blush, because she's gotta have her little rosy cheeks and lips. Oh yeah, I used slightly, not a complete black to do the inking. I used more of it's slightly gray, but it's still very black. There's a little bit of white in the black color. I don't know why, just did. It's a little less harsh than the black that I usually use, and sometimes it's a lot softer. So my picture just seems a whole lot softer and less in your face. But yeah, I didn't leave them black so it didn't really matter anyway, but I changed all the colors of the line art to match the colors that were within the line art, like the hair and the purple and the peach and her face. I don't even know what I'm saying, but yeah, I didn't even leave it the black color, so it doesn't even matter. And I added some highlights to her hair, and oh, I also added some just strands of hair sticking out all over the place, because, you know, I feel like it fit the style, you know, a little different. I mean, since her head's so massive, why can't she have massive strands of hair sticking out all over the place? I also just added like a subtle gradient to the hair, so from the bottom up it's a little darker, and this just adds some dimension and makes it seem more hair-like, because the sun hits the top of your hair and it's lighter than where your hair is at the bottom, where the sun isn't like directly hitting it. So I don't know, just a little thing, you know, no big deal. And now we're at the end of the video. I'm sorry you guys are all crying. You're not crying at all, I know, whatever. Can't you humor me? Anyway, I'll have some links of other illustrations of my original character Maple if you want to see those, like her in normal form with regularly proportioned body parts. Then you can click somewhere, and I'll have them in the description as well. Also, I totally forgot to mention, but if you like that intro video at the beginning, my friend Brian made it for me, and if you are interested in hiring someone to create a little intro logo type thing, and you already have the logo made, then he is your dude, and you can just PM me and I will give you some of his information. Yeah! Okay, y'all have a delicious and full of apples! Bye!